What's going on, guys? My name is Yellow S2K and welcome to some MX vs ATV Reflex. This has been a very long time since I played this game, but I'm pretty excited. It's been long enough that I'm actually looking forward to playing this, which is really nice. I want to see, is this game still worth playing? Did it hold up? I haven't touched it since, I don't know, a couple of years, I believe. So it's going to be a little rough, the gameplay at the beginning, but I think it'll come back to me. But there's been a lot of games that have came out since then. Probably what, MX vs ATV All Out, you have Monster Energy Supercross, you have MXGP Pro. There's just a lot. And those games have definitely progressed in certain areas, but not all. So I want to play this game and see, is it as good as we once thought it was? And is it a game that I should dive back into a little bit? This is the Way Kaylee compound by the Kelly. And I remember it being a pretty cool compound. I figured I'd download this one to start it off. It's going to be a challenging one, so you'll have to forgive me at the beginning, but we'll get there. I think we'll get to a point where we can have some good fun and not suck too bad. But again, it's been a long time. All the ruts on these custom tracks. I'm already digging this. Can we get this inside rut? Not even close. Little double there. Jump all the way over. What do we have here? Just a big fly out. Ooh, it's like a quad. That's sick. Whew. Almost lost it there. First thing I remember, or first thing I notice is there's no preload function, so it's just leaning back. Leaning back and gassing it, but it doesn't feel corny, kind of like Unleashed does. It actually feels smooth. It makes sense to lean back. It feels like you wouldn't in real life. You know, I guess a seat bounce function would be pretty sick, just because that's something you would do in real life. Really, that seat bounce, that'd be kind of cool. But again, I think a lot of those preloads take away from the gameplay in some of the newer games. It ends up being like, well, if you suck and you go a little too slow into something, you can just do this sloppy preload. In this game, you really have to nail it the whole way through. And on these custom tracks, I remember those ruts are super difficult. You need to not go too quick into them. It's super easy to just blow them and not dive into them. So you actually have to get your braking done early. Oh yeah, there's a little like shortcut on this track. I remember that now. Not bad for a first lap. Just been a very long time since I played this. Again, on the brakes. Damn, railed that rut. Double. On, off. Ooh, not going to get this triple out. Oh, shit. Whoops. Dude, this track is pretty cool. Oh, I thought that was going to bite me. I don't remember how easy it is to crash any of that stuff, but I can tell you so far, the game feels pretty good. Like... I'm not completely in love with any of the new games that have come out. There's a reason why I haven't been posting that much of them. Now, it doesn't mean they're not good games, and it doesn't mean I'm not going to post them, but none of them caught my attention like Reflex did. Of course, I was a lot younger and didn't have as much going on in my life at the time of posting a shit ton of Reflex videos, but I could see myself playing this with a bunch of friends and having a really good time. The newer games, it's a little more dull. It's not nearly as rewarding as this game. I know I'm not necessarily showing you guys the best gameplay, but wow, I'm already having a ton of fun. You can feel the flow, and again, you have to be super smooth over the rough stuff, get on the brakes, catch those ruts, but you can really put your own style on it, and you can't do that in any of these other games. They've tried. Even All Out, I'm sorry, but All Out, yeah, the big whips, it's cool, I guess, that they made it where you're able to throw those big whips, but in the end, you're throwing the same, like, 2-3 whips every time. Legit, like, everybody that plays that, it's not like you have, like, 100 whips that you can throw. In this game, I feel like you can really switch it up with just the small movements, not the big whips. The big whips end up being the same, but In the end, you can just throw different style, and it feels legit because it's all off of the physics of like sliding your rear end off the lip of the jump. I'll see if I can halfway do it here. See, I turned before and kind of got it to slide out a little bit going up that lip, and that's what creates your whip or your scrub, really. I mean, if you're going to be going fast and scrubbing stuff, that's what you do in this game. Now, in other games, it's like, all right, I'm going to push the two sticks together. I actually did it right there. I'm going to push the two sticks together, and it'll do an automatic whip or a scrub. Or in All Out, it's like you move the sticks in a direction that doesn't really make all that much sense, and you find yourself just doing the same few whips. It might be kind of a turn down, or it might just be an oppo, or just a big floaty ridiculous upside down whip. And it just has not caught my attention enough to keep me playing, and I would honestly wager that it hasn't kept pretty much anyone's attention. Not many people are playing that game. There's not a ton of content coming out on that game, and I think that's why. It's really not rewarding, and you're not putting your own style on it. This, it's like, yeah, you're not preloading. It's a lot more simple, but in the end, you're really trying hard to keep your momentum, hit the right line, not get out of control, and these custom tracks obviously really help that. With some of the, oh shit, with some of the replayability, you know, the stock tracks in this game are not bad, I will say that. They are pretty fun. But the custom tracks with all these braking bumps and these huge ruts, I mean, it really takes it to that next level. And unfortunately, we don't have that for those other games. Nobody's making these crazy custom tracks for those other games. And even if they did, I don't think it would hold up. Something about Reflex really keeps it fresh and keeps you wanting to figure it out or do better. Again, it's that rewarding side of it. Blew that rut, but man, again, I know I'm not giving you the best gameplay. It's been years since I've played this, so you'll have to forgive me, but I'm thinking that this is a game that I'm going to try to play a little bit more often and post some videos of. And I can honestly say it's not just because I've built a following on this game specifically. I can tell you it's because, dude, this is holding up. Like, this feels nice. It's not as pretty. It's not as complicated. But in the end, it's like, dude, this is way cooler than those other games. I mean, am I wrong here? Like, what do you guys think? Definitely let me know in the comments. Does this game actually hold up? It's not just nostalgia, I'll tell you that. I don't have much nostalgia for anything. It's more than that. It's definitely more than that. Now, it helps that I'm riding on a pretty cool track, and it's been a little while since I've played, so I'm not, like, burnt out or anything, but I'll tell you, at the end of the day, I would play this over any of the new games, without a doubt. Without question, I would play this first. And I've only done a couple laps. It's crazy. Think of all the awesome custom tracks that are in this game over the years. For those of you guys that have been around the community for a while or just been around my channel, wow. There are so many sick tracks. So much fun riding to be had out there in this game, and you definitely cannot say that about any of the other games. I don't know, man. I guess you could say Monster Energy Supercross has that replayability with tracks, but let's be honest, a Supercross track and with just kind of the canned stuff that's there, that's the wrong word, but just the same old jumps, the same old everything, you can get pretty creative with it, but it doesn't have the customization like this. I know it takes a lot of work for these guys to make these tracks, but holy crap, I mean, you're not going to get this out of any other game in a custom environment, you know? Especially the amount of custom stuff for this. So I really hope this game comes back and people start making content for it again. It's every time I used to play this game, let's check this out. Every time I would play this game in the past, I would always have good races, especially once you get a little bit better. You have a ton of fun, some really good battles, but you have to be on point. You have to be on point. So again, it's rewarding. So I don't know. Let's switch it up once we get around to the beginning and maybe see what that enduro spot looks like. That's going to be kind of weird and not really comparable to anything else. Maybe we should check out the Supercross track, but let's see what we get to here. Dude, I don't miss the whips in All Out at all. In fact, this makes me realize how shitty those whips are. it does not make me miss the mechanics of a preload or anything along those lines. The only thing that I do miss that this game lacks, I guess, is a back brake. I would love to see a separate back brake like you get in those games. I really like the separated back brake. It gives you that little bit more control over the bike. Makes it where you can kind of slide that back in a little bit. So that's something that, okay, maybe 1 point for Monster Energy Supercross and MXGP Pro. But it's not a game breaker. Let's be honest. It's just not. And maybe I should say deal breaker in that situation. I think I blew that jump every single time. The enduro track is this direction. Guess we go this way? Let's check this out. Again, this might not be very comparable, but I think it shows the diversity that this game has. I mean, here we are on an enduro loop in a custom track. Like, you're not going to get that. I think I just came right back onto the motocross track. Yep. That was not the full loop. I remember doing that in my review. Oh, wait. I saw another red sign over here. Motocross track, Supercross track. Okay, I'm going to kind of bail on the enduro loop. I was actually kind of excited for it, but let's check out a Supercross track because, again, that's a little bit more applicable to comparing the games. I believe I'm going backwards, but we're going to go for it anyways. Definitely backwards. Try to charge through here. You know, Monster Energy Supercross did a pretty good job with Supercross games. Now this is just in a compound. You know, there's some really cool Supercross tracks that are custom. This is just a compound Supercross track. Not to take away from it, Kelly, but this isn't quite, you know, somebody that put a shit ton of time into just one Supercross track specifically. There's some pretty cool ones out there, no doubt, but I remember this track already. This is a tough one. But anyway, what I'm getting at is here we are doing Supercross, and it feels good. It definitely feels good. Monster Energy Supercross did a pretty good job with it. It's probably one of my more favorite newer games. But this holds up well. And this is just a random Supercross track on a compound. We got an enduro loop. We have all this replayability, essentially, in this old game. That's just unmatched, man. Oh, I wanted to get to that inside rut so bad. What a cool Supercross track. You really have to have the flow in this game, because again, you can't just be like, oh shit, I'm going slow. I need to hit a giant seat bounce or a big preload. You don't have that option. You have to hit everything with the right amount of speed. Oh shit. As I totally screw it up. But you do. You have to hit everything with the right amount of speed. You have to scrub speed. It's legit. If you're scrubbing, you're actually going to use the physics of the game to scrub, not like some weird whip mechanic. You are going to go really fast into something, and then you're going to slide off the face of the jump and throw your weight to the side to be able to actually soak that up and hit something faster. A real scrub. Wow, this Supercross track is pretty tough. But that's what I love about it. It's all legit, and it might be simple, and it might not impress people graphically anymore, but this game is far superior to the rest of the new games that have come out, and it's really unfortunate the way some games have gone. Not all. We need a game for people like Monster Energy Supercross. I'm glad that game's successful. It got a lot of people into the sport. It was really a good thing for the sport. No doubt. And it's a good game. It's very pretty. It's a ton of fun. But it's just not like this. This game is superior for the guys that really like playing motocross games. Now, I'm not talking about MX Simulator. To me, that's a whole separate thing. That's not comparable to all these arcadey games. This is an arcadey game. I have to say that in this video. This is not comparable to Sim. Sim is awesome in its own way. But out of all the arcadey games, I am now completely sold that this is by far the best. And all it took was me riding on one compound. It's just insane. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd really appreciate you guys posting up your thoughts. I know a lot of people love the new games. I'm not hating on them as much as it may sound. I'm gonna still post those games. They're still great for what they are. But if you have to compare them, all it takes is playing this for 10 minutes, and I realized, holy crap, this game is on point. This is exactly what you want out of a moto game, and I really wish developers would move towards this model for at least the motocross community. It's not going to be successful for your general public. It's unfortunate, but that's true. But man, would I love to see a Reflex 2. I know people have said that, and I always kind of thought it was a little silly. Because it's like, Reflex is done. That game is so old. Who cares? But you know what? After playing all those other games and kind of being over them and not even wanting to play them, here I am, pumped about Reflex once again. Pretty crazy. That's all I gotta say, guys. A little long-winded, but I thought it was worth just getting on here and just blabbing about my thoughts of the game. Again, let me know in the comments, what do you think? What are your feelings? And what would you like to see on my channel, Reflex content? Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.